Welcome to the Outer Realm with MicheleDerocher and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night segment of The Outer Realm. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 FM from the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM from beautiful New Orleans. We're fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers Coffee who have been a part of our journey for the last 5 years. So thank you, Folgers. We couldn't do it without you, nor would we want to. Also, big thank you to Justin Snicker, aka Dr. Snick, the Sonic Surgeon, for the contribution of his music, his time, and for the intro you just heard, basically, which totally rocks. And it's also been with us for at least 5 years. He is an award-winning composer of Halloween horror, sci-fi, and dark wave electronic music, which can be found on all of your favorite music streaming platforms. Also, big thank you to Steve McGinnis, the artist behind the banners and logos here at the show. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Also specializes in the horror genre, but does phenomenal commission pieces of any sort, especially pets, one of my favorites. Anyway, tonight, of course, we're welcoming back, our good friend Priscilla Rosado-Cruz. We're talking astrology. I know. I just see everybody's all excited. I've been hearing about it all week, and I'm really, really grateful that she's taken the time to return. So we're going to look into, of course, astrological science is what she does, but we're going to be talking about this upcoming eclipse, the planets that are all in retrograde. How does it affect us? How does it affect individual signs? Some of us are going to take it harder than others, I'm sure. And he's going to tell us all about it. And, we're all going to have a lot of fun. So remember, guys, we're on 8 different platforms. Everything has a chat room. Roku, yes, we can see you here on the board if you want to comment. Roku TV does not have a chat, obviously. We will also, I'll put up comments as we go. As she's talking, I'll just flip up comments every now and then. She can see your comments. I will not address questions until she's ready to, but I will be tagging them. And as we go along, we'll get to as many as we can. So without further ado, my friend Priscilla. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for having me again. I'm excited. It's a good day to do this. Day before
Oh my God, are you kidding? I've been looking forward to it. I love having you on. This is very insightful.
I love being here. So thank you for this opportunity. And for everybody that's excited to be here too. Thank you.
Oh my God. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. It's so interesting to me because how many times have we talked about the fact that people don't really get astrology? It goes far beyond, the horoscope book sort of thing. And it really does affect based on our sign.
Yeah, I mean, it goes a lot further than just also like the symbolism and the, the archetypes and the, what do you call those? The glyphs and just one sun sign. And so I think if people don't start to understand that, like, that's where they kind of get tripped up. They'll hear a sun sign reading. They're like, this isn't me. Well,
yeah. I know. Amelia wishes she could have been here. She goes, "Why I have to miss another one?" But she's under the weather, suffering from a migraine. Honestly, she's getting it from every which way. She goes, "I'm just going to try to listen in," and she's very disappointed. Just so you know.
Yes, I think I cause allergies for her because every time I get on, she's sick. So
it's true. Yeah, she just got over some kind of plague, and so she's been back for a few shows and then down again, and so just hoping she can get through it.
You know, I was so sick too last time we were supposed to meet. I don't know what that was, but it took me down for about a week.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, you're lucky because some people are going, like 2-3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
So,
totally.
So Chickie, where do you want to start? Honestly,
So
we're in the middle of a whole lot of crazy right now too, right?
yes, we are. And so, okay, so I made a chart for this exact Virgo moon eclipse.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm able to share it. Can
You
I?
You are. Go to the bottom where it says present.
Okay, present.
Go to present and go to share screen.
Share screen. Okay.
And whatever it is you have up, or there's video files, slide, PDFs, images, but share screen's easiest. If it's up on your screen.
Now, I don't want to record this, right? It's saying Google Chrome would like to record this, so deny that.
No,
okay.
It's recording on the show. Yeah, you're good.
And then choose where the StreamYard, a new tab. Okay, hold on. Maybe because I don't have the tab up, it doesn't know to share it.
Oh, yeah. Well, if it's on your screen, it will automatically share.
Okay, hold on. Let me go to that because I think that might be the issue.
Yes.
Okay.
If it's on the screen and you go share screen, it'll come up in a file that says go to where it says window.
Gotcha.
See that when it comes up, it says window. It'll show everything that's on your screen. Pick the one you want.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to pull this up and then see if it'll pop it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got this. Now let me go back to here and select a tab to share. It doesn't really have anything up here.
Yeah, it should just be,
Safari. Boom. Okay,
yeah, go to where it says, it'll say window and have Safari up on your screen. It should take it.
It's saying Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen to fit it. Shoot. Okay.
Do you want to just send it to me? I can put it up if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see.
Okay. Just email it to me. Just tack it onto the email I just sent you.
Yeah, let's do that.
And it'll come up right here and I'll get it going.
Yeah, because I really want to present this where people can actually have a visual and see it and understand what I'm saying. It just helps it so much. So
perfect. Well, my people, especially my chat, they all love show and tell. So they love the visual. So this will be fantastic.
Astrology, it's so important that you do learn this based on, the visuals of it.
Yes. Wonderful.
Okay.
So I'll watch the email.
Here to I'll have to go to photos down here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Here it is. And then choose file. And I am subject chart.
Beautiful.
Chart.
All right. Hold on there.
It is being sent right now.
All right. Perfect. So I am just waiting for it to arrive.
And this actually helps me too to be able to look at each sign and delineate from being able to observe it instead of just in my head because I don't want to miss anything. We have a lot going on. Like you said, we have that Virgo eclipse and this eclipse is on the south node. So it indicates a release. And for people that don't know, Virgo is the ruler of anything that has to do with micromanaging, the details of things, putting things where it belongs. It's the office manager is what I like to tell people. Whenever you see a Virgo, know that they're going to try to, put your life together for you. They're really good at that. But because it's a south node eclipse and it's a full moon, it actually indicates releasing a lot of that energy. So,
oh my gosh. So it's everywhere pretty much.
Yeah. And everybody's going to feel that because everybody has a chart and everybody has a Virgo pie slice of their chart. So, all right. So this is a chart. So this is it. This is what I did this based on the time and the date that we're going to have this full eclipse. And this is at 2:54 a.m. Now, this location is from where I'm at in the United States. So this kind of mirrors the rising sign of the United States. The United States is a Sagittarius rising. But this is still the same for everyone. Everyone is having an eclipse in Virgo at 23 degrees, okay? Whether it's on the 14th or 15th, depending on where you are in the world. For us, we're Eastern time, even if you're in Canada. So this is still the same, concept right here. So here is where we are having the eclipse. It's going to be right here on top of this moon. And for us in the United States, go ahead.
Okay. Which one? Sorry. Where am I?
Right here, the Virgo moon up on top.
Oh, wow. I can't see your cursor. So, okay. The Virgo moon up top. Where?
Yep. So if you see this Virgo moon, the moon.
The moon. I'm all right.
That right there. So this is where the eclipse is going to happen. It's on the moon and you can't see it, but there's a south node, which is the lunar nodes of the moon that is actually really close by. Okay. And when we have anything that's with the south node, it's about releasing and purging out and things that are kind of outdated, that are no longer in alignment with us. So as a collective for the world, everybody is releasing this energy of details, micromanaging, finickiness, and because it's about health, and this is really has a lot to do with health related things. Okay. So, because it's a release, I can't help but think even 6 months from now, this could indicate something to do because it's Mercury's retrograde with stuff to do with health, the lungs, possibly bird flu. So, that's kind of nor here nor there, but that's just kind of my interpretation of it. So do expect that maybe 6 months from now, or even 2 weeks off of this moon, we can start hearing things about health stories, especially here in the United States, because this area, that 10th house where you had your cursor, is the reputation and the public image of the United States. So for the United States, you can expect themes related to health stories and also things related to work stories. So you can expect work is going to change because Virgo rules over the energy of work, the working class, and co-workers, and just work in general, the working people. So there's a lot of changes to that going on. Okay. The very next day, right, Saturday after this eclipse, the ruler of this Mercury moon will actually be in retrograde. So we're getting like a program of this energy.
Great. Can't wait.
It's crazy because even though it's you can expect things to come back from the past, even though we're getting ready to release it. And why? I think because Virgo is a sign of perfectionism. And so it is so inclined to pay attention to the details that it can get stuck there and not focus on the bigger picture. Because it cares so much about the details, it can kind of lose itself in that energy.
Alan wants to know if you can define retrograde. What does it mean?
Yes. Okay. So retrograde, from our vantage point, means that the planet is going backwards. However, from what we can see, it's actually a optical illusion. The planet isn't really going backwards, but from our vantage point, this is how we see it. So we say retrogrades. What's really happening is that the planet slows down. And this is why, like, if you think of a car, right, you're next to a car and it stops, or you're stopped and the car moves, and you're like, oh my God, my car is moving. This is kind of the optical illusion that it's doing. So it's not that it's going backwards, it's that it's paused. And when this happens, it slows down and it causes the energy to constrict and slow down as well. So it's not as fast moving. This is why car accidents happen more when Mercury is retrograde. This is why we have communication issues when Mercury is retrograde. This is why we lose emails, or you get glitches on your phone or computer. Shit goes to hell.
Oh my God. Mercury is just an ass.
I like when people say Mercury and Gatorade. That's just so funny to me.
Oh my God.
And yes, Kathy, which she's right. This is why she's been spring cleaning, because Virgo cleans things out. Virgo rules the liver and the small intestines in your body. So, so Virgo is literally charged, or not charged. It is literally ordained to clean the shit out of the body and the shit out of people's lives. Okay. So yes.
There we go.
Another thing about Mercury retrogrades to remember, guys, and this is with any planets, when it goes retrograde, it does indicate the words: rewind, realign, readjust, review, revise. You're going back into themes that you've already been through, and you're calculating it. This is why your exes come back during Mercury retrograde.
Darn it. I'm hoping not.
So don't take them back, because right now
it's an illusion.
Oh, it is, exactly. That's a great way of saying it. It's an illusion because it's literally an optical illusion in space. So you're really getting an optical illusion when retrogrades or when exes are coming back, or things are rewinding like this. It's really just to help you kind of finalize the details to move forward. It's not for you to get back with them and move forward. And sometimes this is applicable if you're born with a Mercury retrograde at birth or a Venus retrograde. But if you don't have these at birth, then you shouldn't be going back to exes, okay? Especially now with that Venus in retrograde, because it's an illusion, guys. If you're tying a knot right now, I'm sorry, but when that Venus goes direct, it's going to be a mess.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're in Mercury retrograde now.
Well, we're in Mercury retrograde Saturday. We're in Venus retrograde right now.
Oh.
So if you have issues with partnerships right now, equity, fairness, justice, balance, romance, anything of partnerships, whether it's in, business, legal, or even relationships, one-to-one, Venus is kind of in her Palos Athena. She's in her warrior energy over here in Aries. I don't know if you can see, if you look at the Aries symbolism, which is house 5 on this chart, you'll see Venus down here.
Where? The bottom?
Okay, so if you see in the middle of the chart, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the middle. Go to the middle of the chart.
Got it. Okay. The
You see
middle.
how there's numbers?
All these numbers.
No, straight in the middle. Go to the middle dot. You see there's numbers right there. 1,
Yes,
2, 3. All right, these are the houses. So when I say house 5, you go to 5. That's Aries right there, that sign. And then if you look down, that's Venus, Mercury, and Chiron in Aries house.
Oh.
Okay, that's how you look at a chart. Now, with Venus sitting here in Aries, she's in her Palos Athena, which means she's in her warrior energy. She's in her strategic warrior energy. She is not here to be equitable. In fact, the scales are tipped right now. So there's a lot of inequitable energy right now in social, in, financial areas of life, in romance, in relationships. And we're seeing that on a grand scale. If you look into the world at large, there's a lot of fighting and war right now about finances, about, the treasury and here in the United States, or even if you look at stocks right now, the stocks and all that shit's plummeting, right? Because we have Venus in her detriment state. She rules the opposite sign, Libra. If you look at 11 across the way, that's Libra. This is her kingdom.
Yes.
But she's over here in exile. She cannot function when she's in her exile state. No planet can.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
So this is why things to do with relationships and, finances or, even beauty and aesthetics is like kind of out of whack. This is the worst time to get your hair cut, worst time to get any type of aesthetic shit done, because especially to your face, the Aries rules the face, especially the teeth. There's going to be some type of having to go back and redo it. Okay. So I suggest don't do any of that right now. Okay?
Don't do any of that right now.
No. Wait till Venus goes back into her exalted state, which she will March 27th, I believe.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, some of us have, cleanings and such. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll make it that long.
Which, listen, if you made the appointment before she went into retrograde, you're in the safe zone.
Okay. And when did she actually go?
She went into retrograde the 1st of March.
Well, I could, maybe.
But you should be okay. Otherwise, something can happen where, like, they hit the wrong tooth. Or
come on.
And then you're like, shoot, I got to go back.
Darn it. I am not a fan to start with. So
you're not going to lose your teeth. You're good.
As long as they don't fall out of my head, I'm all right. So, okay.
Out of there with one tooth missing.
Oh, my God.
Oh, hi, Alan. I live in Lexington, Kentucky, too. That's awesome. Great.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
We got connected here.
Kinship.
Yeah. So if you need a personal astrologer, we can do it live. I'm in town and I do readings in person. So
wow, lucky guy, Alan.
And so, I just defaulted here in my location just to kind of pull up the chart. It would obviously change the rising sign, which is this first house over here, depending on the location you are. And so this is why your time of birth matters, because wherever you landed in the world, it determines the way that your chart is going to kind of, make itself play out. So it's not as simple as, I'm this sun. No, you are every other planet and sign as well. Just where is it in your blueprint? Because this is your blueprint. So this is pretty much the blueprint for the eclipse and what is going to come off this eclipse. Okay. So what I can tell you and what I can see here, because this moon is being eclipsed, right? And it's in trine to this Uranus in the 6th house to Taurus. This is major technological and progressive changes to the working class. I cannot stress this enough. The next
You're some freaking amazing news tonight, aren't you?
I mean, I want to be honest. There could be a lot of letting go of jobs because they're going to put AI and technological advancements in these places. I just got to be honest.
No,
now,
of course.
This could also be, because there's a double-edged sword, right? Even though it is a release, it could be a release on how we go about doing work. Maybe the innovation and the advancement of the AI that they bring in could actually help bring more jobs, or, you know what I mean? So it can go both ways. I do know that because it's in trine, it's actually a positive effect, as much as people are like kind of scared of this evolution, because nobody wants their rug pulled out from under their feet, right? But this is why you should be preparing and planning, because we do have a very new beginning and change coming in July. When Uranus moves into Gemini, it is a major quantum leap into a different state of consciousness for the world at large.
Wow. So can we touch on that state of consciousness for those who just have? no idea how this all of, astrology affects all of this.
So basically, since in July, Uranus will go into Gemini. Okay, it's an air sign. So now we're doing all things about the mind, technology, the brain, advancements. Uranus rules technology. It rules, space travel. It rules, the heavens. It rules air travel. This is all changing too. And so it stays in each sign for 7 years. And he's going to be in Gemini until 2032. So we have from now until 2032 major technological changes. Gemini rules anything that deals with media, communication. It deals with travel, cars, planes, trains, any way of moving through the world. It also deals with technology, like computer, phones, anything that deals with like emailing, like the flow of information. Okay. Gemini rules children and education. And what are we seeing in the United States? We're seeing so much changes to the Board of Education.
Everything. Yeah.
And this is why, because Uranus is bringing a new quantum consciousness down to the world and to humanity. And this can be really shocking, surprising, and uncomfortable because Uranus is a very chaotic planet. It's the only planet that spins on his axis. So he's rebellious. He does what the hell he wants. He breaks rules.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then, who's got Uranus on their sun? Trump.
Yeah, right. It's right.
Well, he's a great example of a Uranian energy. And he's like what I say, he's the needle that breaks the camel's back because he's ushering in this Aquarian transition and Aquarian age.
So that's okay. That is that. Quick question.
Laughing at the Miche lady.
Yeah. Does Earth ever go into retrograde? Speaking of Miche.
Well, that's really, really interesting. I never really thought of that. If it does, I don't think we would have that energy because we live here. You know what I'm saying? So that's just from our vantage point, what we can see based on the other planets. But if it does, I'm sure it really affects us. I don't have to look that up. Thank you for that question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Laugh at their other one though, where she says,
yes.
Where I live is always in retrograde. So I wonder if she has a lot of retrograde planets in her chart. Because some people might feel the turbulence of their life like this because they are got a ton of retrograde planets. And this is me. I have a Venus in retrograde. So right now, this Venus in retrograde actually serves me. But we don't get her enough in retrograde. It's almost every 2 years. But it's not as frequent as Mercury. Mercury's every like 2-3 months. But when she is in retrograde, it's actually beneficial for me. Whereas that most of my life, she's in in her retrograde state at birth, and my relationships, my money, my marriage, all that stuff was really, really hard for me until I got until I got into astrology and I understood like, oh, okay, I have to do things differently. I have a Venus in retrograde, and that actually helped calm down the financial issues, the relationship issues, the romance issues. So.
Yes, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. She says, hold on, coming back. The older you get, the faster it will seem to turn. Time flies. Truth.
Yes,
that's true. It's true.
Yeah. And I think because we're also evolving so fast, and even on a quantum level, if we're looking at different dimensions, we're all kind of accelerating, we're growing. I always tell the people, like, space is like a brain. And the more that we figure out, the more our consciousness opens up as well, because we're one with that up there. So when we found Uranus and Pluto and Neptune in the 1800s, it changed the way that we operate in the world. And so the more that, asteroids we find, the more planets we find, the more our consciousness, which is our brain, starts to open up areas that we weren't even dabbling in yet. So it's so funny how that electrical charge, when we figure out something and we find it, it opens up another part in our minds. It's great.
Once you have an understanding of it, yes. Because I remember, first time it came on, you did my chart, and I was just like, yeah, see, this all makes a lot of sense.
And it's almost scary because you're like, oh my God, what is this witchcraft, right? Because that's what we're indoctrinated into. But it's really just that binary system of how this algorithm works. Like this is, I think there was this thing I saw on Facebook the other day, and a lady was talking to ChatGPT or her AI, and AI was explaining how it's not that we are, going into a totalitarian matrix. It's that we've already been in one, and we're starting to wake up and realize we're inside of this quantum computer or whatever this is.
Right.
And so that's really the shock to it, is that, like, what are we in? What is this? There is some type of coding here.
You know what? I'd like to do a show with you on that specifically, because we have to put that on the other show, I think.
Oh yeah. I don't want to go too deep right now because
but you know what? I will schedule you for Beyond the Outer Realm if you want to do this topic, because it's surfacing right now. So it's funny you're mentioning it now because it is surfacing right now. They're mentioning it. It's just coming up more and more. And I'm going, isn't this interesting?
Yeah, and to tie that to astrology, it's because Uranus is going into a mercurial sign, and Mercury rules the mind. So not only are we kind of thinking more, we're getting more idealism, more expanding more, all that. We're also like the children that are coming through, because Gemini and Mercury rules children. They're also already evolved. They're the ones kind of showing us the way. They're in a different vibration than we are. So, Uranus rules over vibration. So you can expect from July until, 2032, a change on the vibrational scale for our world.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm excited for it. If Uranus rules the heavens, I also believe and we've got Pluto in a Uranus sign, which is Aquarius. I'm like, okay, I'm really hoping for the aliens to come. I'm like, I need to see the aliens. I believe.
I've seen, so I definitely believe. I'm an experiencer. I'm, fortunate for it. But I mean, not everybody feels that way. But I think right now they're just, watching us going.
Yeah, they make contact with certain people, right? Because I've had that experience, but I want it to be live in public. I want people to all come to that reality.
I think it's coming.
Not just us.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
Especially with this Uranus and Pluto change. So if you look at Uranus right now, where it's in house 6. Okay.
House 6. Okay. Yeah.
And you see that little symbol, that's Uranus. He's almost in house 7. And when he gets to house 7, if you look at house 3, he will be an exact trine to this Pluto, where he is right now, actually. But when he gets to that, 3-4 degrees, wherever Pluto is at, that's I think there's going to be a revealing, because Pluto likes to bring out the hidden stuff of the world and what we can't see.
Wow. Yeah. So there's lots to look forward to.
Yes, there's a lot of good energy when we come into June. I know the first 6 months was tough. This is a 9-year. 9-year represents Mars. So it's a lot of fighting, a lot of warring, a lot of division, a lot of cutting out of things. But Mars in totality is also about building new things. He's an innovative God. He rules the autonomy and the initiation to start new stuff. So he rules Aries and Scorpio. So we have some new energy coming in June, as long as we continue kind of getting rid of the residuals from the last couple of years we've been, experiencing.
Quick question. Alice says, I have a question. Would astrology work differently on a flat Earth as opposed to a spherical Earth?
Yes, because I'm actually looking at this chart in a 2D level. If you look at the chart, it's flat. It's on a 2D level. But what I'm doing is I'm looking at a 2D level, reading a 3D energy.
Yeah. Yes.
That's all it is.
Yes. Wow. See? My gosh, has an answer for everything. There we go. Good question, though, Alan. It's a great question. Hi, Sherry. So, yeah, I mean, So, would Mercury be in pancake? Right? Maybe.
Now, look, Mercury's quite sharp right now. He's in an Aries energy where it's blunt. He is direct. He is not giving an F about what he's saying. He is not, he's being very, I'm taking charge. I'm a warrior. I am one-man army right now. And this is a lot of the communication. It's fast, it's haste, it's impulsive. It's all that Mercurial Aries energy. When he goes retrograde is when he's going to have a little bit more of a tougher time. So we can expect by Saturday, and then up until I think it's April 6th that he's in retrograde. He's going to be, pretty sharp, and there's going to be confusion with information, especially on a global scale and on a new scale, especially with war, soldiers, especially with are we coming? Are we going? What is the truth? And so there's going to be a lot of that confusion. And especially when he goes back into Pisces, he will be going retrograde all the way back into Pisces. And that's his fallen state. He does the worst in Pisces. He can't make the truth of any information because it's watered down, it's foggy, it's confusing, and there could be some elusiveness or even maybe some lying when Mercury is in the sign of Pisces. So
how many months, will he be in retrograde? How many months do we look at typically for?
Weeks.
Only a couple weeks.
So by April 6th, he goes direct.
Yeah. Thank gosh.
when he goes back into Pisces March 30th, and then he goes direct April something, and then he will take a couple, like a week or two to get back into Aries. Okay. So, you can expect themes from now to come back in full force in April, like mid-April. Okay. And these things slow down. So, and I'm going to tell you guys this, whenever we have Mercury and Venus in retrograde, especially those planets, because they're the planets of contracts and negotiations, it is not the best time to sign into anything, say yes to something because something will happen where you won't be able to show up. You won't be able to do the contracts. You won't be able to, or you'll have to go back and fix some details. So if you can avoid signing anything, especially on a financial level, I would avoid that in totality until like mid-April.
Wow. Kathy, while we're still in, this month, is March 21st a reset?
Every year.
Every year.
It is the spring equinox. So anytime you are on shifting signs, which are the mutable ones, they are resets. But for sure, every year in April, because it's technically the beginning of the solar calendar or the solar year. So yes, it's a reset in April. That's the spring equinox.
Excellent. Okay. And next question. She goes, I'm Lake. I hope it hasn't been asked. I can't. If you don't know, I guess, what time of the day you were born, can you still get your charts done without that?
Yes. Okay. So two things. If you go to a specific site, it's called vitalcheck.com. They have your information. So the government saves it. You just are going to have to pay more for it. And this is the problem that people have because they're asking for birth certificates. Birth certificates no longer have the time of birth. You need to ask for a certificate of live birth.
But she's in Australia. Is this like a worldwide thing?
Everybody worldwide.
Okay.
It's called a certificate of live birth, a COLB. So if you call your county recorder, anybody that is in government that records these documents, they will have your COLB for you, certificate of live birth.
And what was the site again? Because I'll make sure it's in the
vitalcheck.com. And you literally can put up any country, city, and state and get someone's information. It is a little bit more. It's going to be like $45 to $55 to get this document. It's not like 10 or 12 bucks like a birth certificate. But it looks just like a birth certificate. It's also called a long version birth certificate. That's another way of saying it, if you don't remember.
There it is, guys.
Okay. Another way you can do this is you can hire an astrologer to rectify your chart. Now, this is good, but it's always within 2 hours. So as long as your astrologer can find the information within 2 hours, then you can get a correct chart. But you don't want anything that is, past those 2 hour marks because the rising changes every 2 hours.
Wow.
So and there's only some astrologers that do this. I'm going to be honest. I do not do rectified charts yet. That is a lot of
it's a lot of extra
math and so on. So I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, you will. I know you. Follow-up question to Alan's question about the flat Earth. Does astrology affect flat Earthers differently than the round Earthers? I like that. The round Earthers.
I think it's the same. So I'm not a round earther and I'm not a flat earther. I'm right in between. I do have a lot of information on the flat earth idea and the lands past the ice walls. I'm big with Admiral Byrd and Confundo from YouTube. So I have a lot of those books and maps. So I do subscribe to that. I'm not going to go any deeper.
It's interesting. No, I get it. There are shows coming up that
so I'm not opposed to it. I do believe that there is some truth in that.
Yes, I agree with you. Okay, so next we're doing the planets.
All right, if you guys don't mind, let's do a quick synopsis on what everybody is going to experience.
Yes.
For their sign. Now, listen, I know most of you don't have your rising sign, and that's fine. You can listen for your sun sign. If you know your rising sign, you want to listen to that because while the sun sign is your core self, it is also your ego, and it's not what's driving the helm of your ship. It is the rising sign that's driving the helm of the ship. Put it this way. You, on a video game, are playing with an avatar, right? To play that video game. So you are the sun, and the avatar is the rising in that video game. So you are actually driving that boat from that avatar, which is why you need to know your time of birth, because you should be listening from your rising sign so that you understand how and what is happening in every area of your life.
He's a Scorpio. His rising sign.
Rising. I am a Scorpio sun, so we have affinity. I like this. I actually have a lot of clients that are Scorpio suns, and yeah, they have a lot of intensity. They got a lot of intensity, very intense people, but they're very psychic. They're very, they can penetrate anything, really. And I like them because they're Scorpios, unlike Aries. They're both Martian people and both take risk, but Scorpio's more strategic and calculated. They're not just like impulsive. And I think that's Pluto that gives them that little, like, let me pull back a little bit and observe. Whereas Aries can be haste and just impulsively go after something. That, you know, they're daredevils. They're not afraid to take risk, which is good, but sometimes that can trip them up. So,
in my opinion, I both Taurians, as they say.
Like you, a Taurus. My brother's a Taurus. So
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Don't mess with Taurians.
I want to start with this Sagittarius rising, just because this is where it's looking out from here, and then I'll go through every sign.
Oh, of course.
So Sagittarius people, if you're Sag rising, Sag sun, or even a Sag moon is more subjective. It's more about home, your feelings, and what's behind the scenes. Okay. That if you're listening from the sun sign, it's about your career and your drive, your force in life, and your vitality. If you're listening from your rising sign, it's every area of your life. Okay. So Sagittarius rising and sun moon people, you guys are going to experience this eclipse in your 10th house. This is your house of your public image, your legacy, your father figures, authorities, and career. Okay. So eclipses in this sense is about purging and releasing. So a lot of you could be in the middle of either changing your reputation, changing your legacy. There could be themes with father figures, because Mars is in the 8th house for you guys of life, death, and rebirth. I don't want to be too negative, but some people could be losing a family member. It's in the sign of Cancer, which is home. So this can bring something that changes a legacy, an inheritance for you. This could also be the change to shared assets and resources because of, that Mars cutting and severing and getting you out of that 8th house over there. Now, on a personal level, this could be about the intimacy and the vulnerabilities that you share with other people as well. So because you've had the ruler of your rising in your 7th house for so long now, this could be either deepening your relationships with your marriage partner, or it could be, causing a issue with your partner, and you could be definitely getting ready to leave a relationship. Can you put that chart back up so I can?
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I need to be able to see that.
Yeah, okay. Just tell me when I can put it away, then I will. I don't want to do it too soon, obviously. Okay.
So across from that moon, you guys, this eclipse does affect the North Node. It's in this 4th house. So for Sagittarius, property, home, family, something to do with family, grandparent, or father is being eclipsed. Eclipses are the nature of like 6 full moons. So they're intense, and they are the wheel of fortune. They take things out to bring new things in, whether you like it or not. So do not fight against this energy. Okay. For all of you. Again, you could be changing jobs. A new boss can leave. You can change a legacy because you lose a father figure or a grandparent, somebody like that, or changes to the home and the axes between the power struggles of home and career and reputation. Okay. So that's Sagittarius. Let's go to Capricorn.
All right.
All right. So if I put Cap on the rising, that is the 9th house. All right. So for Capricorn rising, sun or moon people, moon subjectively, your eclipse is happening in your 9th house of education, your 9th house. This is higher education too, guys. This is like philosophy. This has everything to do with travel, foreign lands, foreign places, universities of all kind. Okay. Now this could be about your belief with God, your faith, because this house deals with your connection to God. This is a God house. This indicates your purpose for Capricorn people. So, Capricorns could be really purging out and releasing these, and to put into perspective, everyone, this full moon eclipse is about surrendering. You are surrendering something. Okay. You are letting go. It is no longer in alignment with you. It is, finite. This story is over. If you don't feel it right away, give it 2 weeks up to 6 months for this to play itself out. Okay.
Wow.
Because this is how intense the energy is. It can play out for 6 months.
Wow.
Okay. But so Cap people, you could be, finishing up a university, an education visa, escapade, because the 9th house rules visas and passports. Again, this could be you, changing philosophy, beliefs, faith. You could be letting go of something that's no longer in your purpose. You could be letting go of maybe a travel venture. Maybe you had to travel for work or something. This is going to change. Okay. with Capricorn folks, they've had in their 7th house Mars here for quite some time, since November of last year. And this could have brought quarrels, fights, arguments, and problems with their significant other. This could have been issues related to business partners or, legal matters. So if you are in a sense of legal matters, right? Let's say you have court going on for Capricorn, Sun is Moon or Rising. This is a ending of a court battle. You are releasing, you are letting go. Again, 2 weeks up into 6 months, you will see the results of this. Okay.
Wonderful.
Let me see if I can tell them one more thing here. Yes, Pisces in 3rd house, opposing this eclipse tells me you've been working on boundaries in the area of your siblings, your relatives, and people that maybe neighbors or best friends that you've been kind of sustaining and helping, but you've been since March of 2023 working on boundaries. And so Saturn went visible on Wednesday, which was yesterday, meaning that he died in the heart of the sun, which is called a Kazemi, and he's resetting karma for everybody in the world. There's no longer the old story. So for Capricorn people, your 3rd house of the way you speak, communicate, learn, where you go to day to day, your connections with siblings, relatives, neighbors, your neighborhood is all resetting and changing. So for Capricorns, you have Mercury and Venus in your Aries 4th house. I would expect that maybe even changes to your home and your foundation is happening right now as well. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Excellent. Okay. So,
Let's go.
do you want to go on or let's go. We'll get to your question shortly, Alan. Yeah.
We'll do that next. Yeah. All right. So Aquarius rising. So this eclipse, let me see. This is in your 8th house, right? Yes. This is in your 8th house. 8th house is everything to do with shared resources, shared vulnerability, shared intimacy, your shared, with banks or loans, any way that you share money, your longer range money, your bigger money, so inheritances, investments, alimonies, child support, all this is packed up in this 8th house. 8th house is also the energetic sharing of intimacy and vulnerability. So not just on a financial level, but the value of the relationship is always seen in the 8th house. So because you have this purged energy and the surrender energy here in this 8th house, there's a lot of surrendering for Aquarius rising in this 8th house of their resources. I think it's maybe how they are sharing inheritances, or maybe even having to pay alimony for if they had, 8th house is about separating. You will see the beginning or the ending of divorces in the 8th house. So if you're an Aquarius rising and you're dealing with anything like this, you can see this kind of finally hashing itself out. This is the end of any alimony stories. Maybe you'll know what the dividends or the inheritance will be. Maybe you'll know how much child support you got to pay out. But this is what this looks like to me. If it's not something like that, it can be, again, something to do with intimacy and vulnerability. The 8th house is a moksha liberation house, which means in Vedic astrology, and which this means is that it's a private, invisible house. Anything in 12, 8, and 4, other people aren't privy to. This is where you go to suffer, but you go to suffer to learn and to release. So for Aquarius people, you are learning to release some of these old, outdated patterns that are no longer in your DNA, that is kind of getting in the way, that you get very meticulous about, that you want to micromanage. You cannot micromanage intimacy. You can't micromanage vulnerability. So Aquarius, I know it's hard for them to get deeper with people one-to-one. They are the humanitarians. They love humanity. They hate people.
Right.
That's how I describe Aquarius folks.
Nice.
They're learning to go deeper and dig deeper. Now, something else about Aquarius folks is that they also have a lot going on in their 2nd house. Because Saturn, again, resetted yesterday in this house of finances. This is the house that rules their values, their self-esteem, their finances, but their material possessions. So Aquarius rising people are being asked to let go of possessions. This could even be changes to their home and their property. They probably have already thought about moving, and they might have to move, but they're kind of double backing, and they're like, well, when do we move? How do we move? When should we do it? Because of these retrogrades that are happening in their their 3rd house energy here that's happening for them. So their neighborhoods could change. There could be a lot of intensity and a lot of chaos going on in their neighborhoods. For them, they have Taurus in the 4th house. So Aquarius already has been feeling that Uranus energy since 2018, since Uranus has been there. So they finally get a release of that in July. Aquarius, you finally get a break of all the chaos in the home, and you will be in way more alignment to know where you want to live, what you want to do. Okay. I think there's something else I need to say to them. Let me see. Yes, when Venus goes direct for them, which will be the 20. It's next month in April. I can't tell you right now because I can't remember off the top of my head. But when Venus goes direct for them in their fourth house, wait, let me see. Is it their fourth house? Yes.
Right here. Yeah.
No, it's their third house. They will know at this time. Let me see, because Pisces sits in their second. Yes, they will have information about their income. They will probably align with a better way to make money. They will really like kind of exalt their values and their self-esteem about what they want in their life. Also, for Aquarius people, if you are a writer, if you're someone that is publishing, right? By April, you can see this momentum come out. If you want to publish, if you want to write, if you want to, put a podcast out, April will be a really good time for those people to do it. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to Pisces rising. That's me.
Yay.
So this eclipse is happening for Pisces rising sun and moon subjectively in their seventh house of partnerships. Okay. Marriage, business, legal, one-to-one, best friends, anything like that you kind of tie yourself into on a physical contract or the energetic contract. That is what's happening in the seventh house. What's happening here is a release. Okay. Now this can go two ways for Pisces people. You can either get out of a long-term relationship here and it's pretty much over. It's probably been over, but you've been holding on for dear life because Pisces has no boundaries sometimes. They're unconditional, they're sacrificial. They will put up with so much and not know when it's time to go. Right. But this can either do that or this can deepen the relationship for them, depending on, what they're ready to surrender to and release. Okay. Having a seventh house Virgo is not easy when you're a Pisces rising because you want to micromanage, you want to dictate, you want to fixate, you want everything to be perfect. All right. Yes. The idea of perfection in a partner, but sometimes that can become taxing and exhausting to your partner. So, so a partner can leave, you can leave, a business can end, a partnership can end, a legal contract can end, maybe even something to do with, I would even say work. If you're tied with a partner and you guys create some type of work dynamic, this can all end for them. Saturn is resetting like it did yesterday for everyone, but for Pisces in their first house. Pisces rising sun and moons have been dealing with learning boundaries since March of 2023, learning where others begin and where they end, learning to, again, not put up with so much, right? They're learning how to have more autonomy because, you've had Venus and Mercury going back and forth in this Pisces and Aries house in their first and second house, which is self-esteem and value. So Pisces rising people are learning to kind of come out of their shell, to play their part in humanity and let go of the fear. Saturn has been causing a lot of fear mongering for them, a lot of pressure, a lot of having to mature and grow up and look at reality a different way. So their perceptions are changing entirely. So, I told my one friend who's a Pisces and like I told myself, right now is the time to flow. Let it flow as a Pisces. Let what happens because it's pretty much time. The universe is saying it's time for this. What else can I tell Pisces before we move forward? You've had Jupiter in your fourth house since last May. And now he was retrograde and he was in his detriment, meaning that the bounty that he was trying to give you has not manifested yet. Jupiter from now until June 8th is going to really deepen the bounty for Pisces people in and around their home. So if you're a Pisces, right, sun, moon, or rising, and you can gain wealth from home, you can gain Jupiter likes to expand. It likes to grow. And Jupiter is the god of like all the best things. He's the best benefic in astrology. So wherever Jupiter is, he can really expand that house for you. So Pisces people, especially moons, you can buy a home around this time. You can align yourself to be able to buy a home. Rising people, same thing. You can maybe either move, buy a home, or get lucky or blessed in a sense with something to do with inheriting a home and inheriting something from a grandparent, especially on the father side. Okay. And then the sun people, this can be an expansion to your career. You could have major, catapult energy coming by June 8th for career expansion. So keep that in mind, Pisces. I know it's been really, really hard for them. They've been Saturn and they've had to be real realistic and mean. And nobody likes when Saturn's like that. And they're not used to that. They're so nice. It's unconditional.
It's true. I know.
They're
They can be pretty spicy too. My daughter's a Pisces.
But,
Bubbles is a Pisces. It'd be spicy.
And usually that, defaulted, they're so like just kind of floating. Some people are like, where are they? They're airheads. But really, right now, since March of 2023, Saturn has made them be very like iron rod. I am very mature right now. I'm realistic. I'm slow and steady. They're being very responsible. And so that's kind of out of their norm. They just like the flow.
There you go. Beautiful. Well, in my opinion, it's completely up on board with everything you're saying. So she's like, I can't believe this is all happening right now here.
And you guys, believe it or not, this is more bell curve because I don't have your individual chart. So astrology is so phenomenal when you have your own chart and you get readings. I mean, it's down to the T. You can see so much about someone and what's 100%. Coming. There's no way to lie. Like the universe doesn't lie. I always say men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't lie. Okay. The numbers
don't lie. Well, you worded it perfectly. Astrology is a language of the gods.
It is. And that's all about vibration and frequency. And what is that? Numbers.
Exactly.
So you might think you can't find something out, but I pull up your chart. I'm gonna be like, what is this?
No holds back after that.
I think this is why the people in power kind of hide it. They don't want everyone to have this form of power because they use it. What did JP Morgan say? That the guy that owned Chase Bank, he said billionaires use astrologers, not millionaires.
It's true.
Or I think he said it the other way. He said millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. So there you go.
There we go. There we go.
Right, so let's go past Pisces. Let's do Aries rising. So Aries rising, this is in your 6th house of work, day-to-day routines, health, pets, competition, and challenges. Okay. Sometimes you can see rentals and leases here as well because you can see debts, real life tangible debts, right? The 6th house and 12th house are the axes of karma. So when we're looking at the 6th house, we're looking at people that can challenge us, so they can technically be our enemies. This is why we see coworkers here in this house. Why? Because they're your coworker, they're your confidant, but when you guys are both trying to compete for that raise, they're no longer your coworker. They are your enemy. They're challenging. I want you guys go toe to toe for that raise. So
yes.
So with this eclipse here, right? You Aries rising, you could be potentially surrendering a work, a monotonous work, reality that you're no longer aligned with. Maybe the meticulousness or the perfectionism way of wanting to get work where you kind of keep yourself in this barrier. You're not opening up your horizons because you're being too finicky about the work you're doing, right? Aries rising could also be tasked with by the universe telling them like, hey, we need you to start, working on health matters, get a routine into health. Why? Well, you've got Uranus in your 2nd house and you've had him here since 2018. So, the things that Aries puts in their mouth, the 2nd house is the mouth, has been ultimately causing, trouble. It could ultimately be that they need to realign their health regime. They need to change their diet. And they need to focus a lot on their gut right now because Virgo also rules the guts. It rules the small intestines and liver. So, if I was an Aries person, I would probably get into a routine checkup with a doctor, right? That the 6th house rules the houses of doctors. There could be things going on like that for Aries people. So expect changes to your routines at work, your schedules at work. Maybe even with your day-to-day duties, expect changes and maybe even if you've had a challenge here, not being able to get a job, get into a routine and get a job, that's getting purged out. You are surrendering and watch the universe bring you something that you are more in alignment with now, especially when these 2 planets that are in the Aries house right now go freaking direct, because right now Aries is going back in time. They're going back over themes with their relationships right now. There can be chaotic.
Yes.
There could be a lot of inequality right now because Aries is really trying to find their autonomy right now. They're really trying to take charge in their life and initiate it no matter who doesn't like it, because it's about their boundaries right now. And then for Aries, this is ultimately also shifting their day-to-day, their community, their neighborhood, the way that they speak, learn, and listen, who they're dealing with. Also, their friends might be time to kind of get rid of them. The friends you have might no longer be in alignment with you. They're the ones causing you challenges. You might not even be seeing or witnessing this because the 6th house is the house of where we support other people. So, Aries people could be so much into supporting other people that they're kind of like, they're hurting themselves in this matter. So this Virgo is going to help you surrender and release this, this area of your life.
Yes. Truth.
I actually teach a class every Wednesday. I teach a class with a couple girls, and if you guys want to join, email me. You can join. It's pretty chill. So, and we're in the beginner parts right now. So if you come in right now, it's perfect for you.
There you go, Alan. There you go.
You'll be the only guy right now. It's a bunch of girls, but okay. You're welcome, Alan. Don't worry.
You'll be in good hands. All right.
So going back to Aries, right now they are, before you get married, I like being the boss. That's so funny, Aries people.
Yeah.
Yes, Aries people really are like they're Martian. They need to be in charge. They need to have autonomy. They need to, have freedom to take risks and not feel like they're being hindered. Otherwise, their relationships kind of go sour, right? Mm-hmm. So, there could be some of that going on with some people if they, especially Aries risings. For Aries sun people, depending on where it's at in your chart, I can't tell unless I have your time of birth. But this could also be, maybe inequitable energy in your work. Maybe you don't feel like you're getting paid enough, but whatever the case, like these challenges are about to release themselves. So again, give it 2 weeks up into 6 months. All right. So let's go to Taurus rising, right? So that's you guys, Taurus sun, Taurus rising, Taurus moon.
Yeah.
So this eclipse would be in your, what am I saying? 7th house here? No. That is, I got to look and see. It's Scorpio. If I'm looking at this upside down, this is your 5th house. Yes. All right. So yeah, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, the chaotic one. Yeah.
This is actually good. Okay. So first of all, this is a trine to you guys, this eclipse. So if you have, I don't know the degrees of your, your planet or your sun or moon or whatever, but if you have a 23-degree sun, you could expect some flow and some ease and changes and surrender to your career dynamic. Okay. But this is because something else can come through. Now, what I do know about Taurus rising people is that your 5th house is your house of entrepreneurship. It's your house of small business enterprises. It's also your house of children. It's your house of procreation in any sense, whether you create a baby business, you create a baby itself. So, this eclipse can actually cause you to surrender and let go of something to do with your children, let go of an entrepreneurial project, a small business enterprise, or even let go of things that no longer are in alignment with the matters of your heart, because the 5th house is the house of your heart. So it's the depth of what is important to you, what's your joy, what brings you happiness. This is what's all on the table in alignment for Taurus. And the good thing about it is that it's an Earth eclipse. So this is an eclipse that's going to manifest something very tangible for you guys. This can bring, it could either surrender you to a relationship or surrender letting go of a relationship, a romantic one at that, because the 5th house is about romance.
Wow. So it really, really means business.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And even if it's not a release of a relationship, it could be the release of micromanaging or being finicky in a relationship, or the details. Maybe your partner is too, finicky, or like, and so this is part of like letting go and learning to release and learning to realign with, understanding that all things are perfectly imperfect. And this is very big for Taurus people, because Taurus people are fixed. They want things a certain way. They are used to this. And so when they get curveballs, they're like, okay, I'm not like, what is this? I don't like this. And fixed signs, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, are the ones that are immobile. It's harder to get them to shift and change. If they look at things like, if it's not broken, why do I got to fix it?
100%. Yes. And we like order, darn it. We like order.
So yes, y'all do, and because you guys are a practical sign, you're an earth sign, so you care about the practicality of things. Now, something else I can say about this is that if you are in a community that is no longer serving you, a friendship, a group, a club, this is getting released too. You're getting a reset of this in your 11th house of your gains based on career, but based on the networks that you tie with. So you are no longer going to be in alignment with the community. It's probably been kind of lingering in the background, but the Saturn resetting is going to realign you with more stable and structured community and friendship relationships, and ones that can actually benefit you, because your 11th house is your house of benefits. It's your mentors, your allies, your older sibling. So for you, Michelle, let's say you have an older sibling that you have been, kind of leaning in on or working with. This could end that relationship and cause you, and not in a bad way. Okay. So this isn't a bad thing. This could just be because it's realigning you with a new community, a new goals, new endeavors, new aspirations. So again, give this 2 weeks to 6 months off that moon, because for Taurus people, you could be really starting to push more for an entrepreneurial project that's going to reset you into a new community.
Yeah, it's like a form of evolution.
Yes.
Like
yeah, because we can't just always stay within the same thing. If the things become, after a while, the energy changes, it's and causes discordant energy, and then you're like, why is everything not working out no more? Well, you kind of maxed your time already, buddy. It's time to go.
Yeah, no, exactly. Why are people dropping off like fries? Oh, wait, it's me. Yeah.
Yes, and it's because sometimes, like you said, some of us evolve faster than others, or sometimes it's not even that. It's just realignment. You were in the wrong community, you're in the wrong club, you're in the wrong, your goals could be shifting. So this is something else that I see for Taurus, because this is going to impact their 11th house. They're getting that reset with Saturn there, and he doesn't wake up to the end of March. So for Taurus people who've kind of felt like they've been struggling with work or reputation because they have that Pluto up there in that 10th house right now, this can really help you to realign the end of March to the direction that you really want to go towards.
Yes. Wow. Well, that's eye-opening, because there's certain things that go on. We can all see snippets of this and everything you're saying.
Oh yeah. And then I think something else for you guys too, for Taurus, before I move to the next sign, you guys have Gemini in your second house, which is absolutely lovely, because Jupiter, now that he's direct, he's going to bring some bounty here in your financial house. So expect by Jupiter, there could be some either inheritance or some great some gains based on your skills, or something is going to grow here. This could even be about gaining more property, a new home, or selling property, or gaining property of some sort through other people. So this is excellent for you guys, because this is going to deepen the bounty all the way up until June 8th.
Wow, very nice.
And one thing I do see too, because your guys' ruler is the one that's in retrograde in your 12th house. So there could be a lot of deep introspection going within. The 12th house deals with offshore land. So maybe some Taurus people are, going to a retreat, or to, you know what I'm saying? Or to liberate something. The 12th house indicates a liberation from the energy of suffering. So Venus here is actually helping you guys to not suffer fools gladly. That's how I'm going to believe it.
I like that. That sounds interesting. I love it.
Oh, and one more thing. You guys have Mars in your third house. So expect changes with friendships, or maybe cutting out of a friendship, cutting out of a connection with a sibling. Maybe there's a change to a relative. Maybe you guys no longer are getting along. Maybe you and a neighbor are in a fight. And this is not all Tauruses. Remember, this is a bell curve, but this can indicate changes into your neighborhood also, and moving, because, it's no longer serving you. So there's Taurus. But this eclipse will help kind of point y'all in that direction.
Yes, I love it. It's all positive. I'm down. All right.
All right. So Gemini risings. This is happening in your 4th house of home and property. This has something to do, if it's not with your mother, there could be a surrendering, a release of a mother. Hopefully, figuratively speaking, it's more so maybe the connection, the enmeshment, or you just no longer have to be responsible for her, or maybe she's going into a nursing home, but this can change and purge out the relationship with mom. This can also be about how you mother, or the indication of how things are going on in the home. So you could be purging out a property. You could be hearing and feeling that you need to surrender and release all of your property in order to move abroad, right? Gemini rising has Pluto in their 9th house. This is very transformative for the next 18 years. They could be really thinking on moving abroad, going to live in another country, even if it's from another state, And so because of this, they might have to surrender their property, surrender, their connection with family and home. So there's a lot of that going on for them. And specifically because they have a Saturn reset in their 10th house. So when they come up out of this, the end of March, Gemini rising people are going to change their career. Saturn is going to help them restructure, and it's giving a whole new karma release. Since February of 2024, Saturn reset here last year in this area for them and for all of us. Right. And now it's resetting again to bring a different alignment and discipline and mastery to build on something to do with career. So, for Gemini rising people, you guys are the elders right now with that Saturn at the tip top of your chart. He's on top of Mount Olympus. So he's really making you look wise and really build on what kind of reputation and legacy do you want. But it requires the surrender of your comfort zone, your home, your property, and everything that you dealt with growing up. So if there's issues with mom, it's asking you to let go and release, stop being finicky, stop trying to maybe fix mom's issues or this or that, because you need to move forward from that story because it's no longer in alignment with them. I'm wondering too, if they're dealing with a lot, because it's Virgo, they could be dealing with the details and the like paperwork that is tied to mom, home, and property. Okay. And so this is going to finally be the surrender and the end of that. Okay. Something else for Gemini people. Let's see. You have Mercury and Venus in your 11th house right now. This is your house of groups, collective friendships, okay? Communities, clubs, hope streams, aspirations. And it's the house that is representative of the gains you make based on career. Because you have these planets about to be retrograde, well, Venus has been here retrograde, the way that you earn your money is really shifting, which is in alignment with the shift that they're going to have happen in their 10th house. Your legacy, your career, and the implications of how you're seen in the world are definitely changing because your community is changing, your friend groups are changing, your goals are changing, and your home and foundation and property are changing.
Wow. Excellent. Guys, it all sounds great.
Especially for Gemini rising people too. You've got Jupiter there from now until June 8th. That bounty is going to deepen. Their perspective is widening. Their perception of how they see the world and themselves, their identity is growing. You know, for Gemini, this is kind of bell curve, but be careful with overeating because Jupiter can make you fat. He expands anything he touches, and he's in your first house, so he can be making you like, I'm hungry, I need to eat. He's also making you look right across to your 7th house of marriage and partnership. You know, Gemini has been kind of itching for like, am I supposed to be in a relationship? Where's my blessing? And you guys can definitely still run into a fated relationship from now until June 8th.
So June 8th is a magic number for a couple of the signs.
Everyone. June 8th is the last time that we have it in Gemini. So wherever it's at in your chart, this is where it's deepening the bounty. This is where it's expanding. And so one thing about planets, once they leave or getting ready to leave in transit, they always leave a gift if you've done your work.
Yes. See, I'll another host on the show here. It's already started. I just
Gemini rising or sun.
Yeah. I just left an entire community because my focus has shifted.
Yep. There you go.
Yes. So
the goals, her gains, her aspirations, the dreams, the things that she wants to implement, they're ultimately changing big time.
Yes. Well, it's happening.
All right. So let's move to Cancer.
Oh boy.
All right. So Cancer, you guys are having this in your 3rd house. So Cancer rising sun and moons. When you have an eclipse in the 3rd house, okay, I call this the junk drawer of the chart. There's so much that happens in this damn area of everyone's chart. And this is your neighborhood. This is your neighbors. This is your distant relatives, your cousins, your uncles, your siblings, this is your best friends growing up. This is your elementary level learning, what you have been indoctrinated into, what you believe based on how you grew up and your surroundings. The 3rd house also deals with your domestic traveling. So where you're going day to day. So it's almost like the 6th house where it's about routines, but those are like scheduled routines. Like, oh, I got to go to the doctor on this day. Whereas the 3rd house is like what you wake up and do every day. I go to the bathroom. I brush my teeth. I take a shower. Like that's what the 3rd house is. Oh, I saw Bob, my neighbor today. Like this is what happens in the 3rd house. So they're purging out and surrendering maybe a neighborhood, maybe a way of thinking. They could even be completing a small education course. If you took a computer course, if you took a certification program, this could be the end of that because you have finally completed it. And one thing I didn't mention for everybody, this eclipse is related to September 2nd. Okay. Back in September 2nd, there was a new moon in Virgo. And so if you can think back to September, this is the culmination and the ending and the release point of that 6-month interval. So new moons and full moons always work in 6 months intervals. So something you planted September 2nd and in September in general is now coming to fruition, all right, or coming to light or ending. So for Cancers, if your day-to-day is shifting, your whole entire schedule routine is going to shift. What you do daily, where you go daily is going to shift. For Cancers, it's a sense of surrendering, because for this being that it's the moon, they have this in their third house. They can be, and they're Cancer rising, they could be the eternal mothers, right? Cancer people love to mother and nurture. And so this is asking you to kind of get into alignment with, maybe not mothering so much, but also like finding ways to mother and nurture yourself, to change the way you think, the way you speak, and to go and take that course, right? Maybe you're going to have to change your schedule around in order to take that course. Because if you think about it, they have Saturn in their ninth house. So with Saturn dying in the heart of the sun in their ninth house, this can be the dissolving of a desire to have a long-term university goal. And so you're going to have to reset this here. This could be the dissolving of travel for them, either domestically or internationally. Cancer rising, you have Mars in your first house. So, since last November, they have been some Aries energy. They've been warriors and fighters and combative and arguing. And that Mars is like an arrow. So they've been, pushing it out, because they're like, no more. I want to, cut out of how I used to think, how I used to see myself, how I perceive myself, my perception. And so this eclipse is kind of help them release some of the old outdated mindsets and things that they have, made themselves believe in order to move forward in life.
Yes. Well, Mark's impressed. Yeah. Mark actually wanted to know if, hold on, let me get up here.
Yes.
Can astrology affect cats? He's under siege.
It affects anything, even dead things. And if everything has a time of birth, because everything was created.
Yes.
So animals have natal charts. Your car, when it was made, has a natal chart. A business has a natal chart. Anything that is brought into form has a creation date and time.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So if you have a business,
you
need to go back and look at that time and that date, look at that chart, and that's how you're going to get your success, because you're going to be able to look at the intricates and know, like, okay, I should be doing it like this. I should start this then. I should implement this. This is what I tell people. You can, a lot of people are on autopilot, and because they're on autopilot, they're just living, and or more so, they're just existing. They're not living. If you get off of autopilot, you follow this roadmap. Now you can co-create with the universe, and you can work with the energy instead of against it. When you work against it, this is where you see all types of problems happen.
So there you go. You should actually
look
at what you want to do, meet with an astrologer like Priscilla, and say, when would it be the best time to open this type of business, and a time that will succeed.
Hey, is this partner good for me? Let's compare the charts. Oh, you met him on this thing, and this is saying no, or this is saying yes. This is your person. It's in the stars. Everything is literally written in the stars, and you want to time your best life.
It changes regularly, doesn't it?
All the time, because the planets in space are always moving.
Yes.
You constantly have a change in a bell curve, which is why I tell people no two Aries are the same. Everybody has an intricate natal chart.
Yes. Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. All right. We'll let you take it. Alan, we're making our way around. Priscilla's going to hit everybody.
Now, one more thing about Cancer before I move to Leo rising.
Yes.
Cancer. Okay. You have a fourth house Libra placement, which tells me because your ruler there is in retrograde. It's in retrograde in, let's see, 1, that's 12, that's 11, that's 10. It's retrograde in your 10th house. So a lot of Cancer people are struggling with the domicile and career, the push and pull between home and my career, home and my legacy, home and my public reputation, what I want, the mark I want to leave in the world, because they're being pulled between the two. There's a lot of home matters because that Venus is in retrograde that's calling them to double back before it would allow them to go forward in their 10th house of career. So when Venus goes direct in April, you can expect that this problem with home and this axis to your 10th house will finally shift. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Gosh. All right.
So Leo rising. I'm a Leo moon, so I'm one of y'all. So Leo rising, sun and moon subjectively. This eclipse is happening in your second house of finances, your second house of self-esteem, your second house of values, your second house of your material possessions. Okay. This is also the mouth. So for Leo, all right, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to be all the way frank. You have Mars in your 12th house, right? The 12th house is the house of addictions. So if you're putting something in your mouth and your nose, you got to let it go, because that's what this Virgo eclipse is saying. Surrender, let that addiction go. Any addiction, but it really has a lot to do with the face. Okay, so if you're eating bad, if you're obsessed with a certain, like, for me, I gotta stop coffee. I'm obsessed with coffee, dude. You can tell I'm high strung.
Yeah, woo! Yes, but we love you that way.
And I've tried many times to quit, and I have a problem with that. Another one is the ganja.
Yeah.
So it's not that I want to fully let it go, but I do want to surrender the kind of the compulsion around it, because Virgo is an energy of compulsion. It rules OCD. It rules over anxiety and things of that nature. So for Leo rising, if you're using these things to cope, Mars in that 12th house is asking you to let it go, cut and sever this addiction, and surrender to the value of, why you're doing this. Look into why you should let this go, right? Will this benefit your health, right?
Yes.
Because if you look at the 6th house, that's Capricorn. This eclipse is in trine very nicely to your 6th house of health, Leo rising. So, this is indicative of this is an opportunity. So not always, so remember, you guys, we have free will. So not everybody's going to quit something, but you're being told that there's an opportunity to actually do it with ease. You want to do it with ease, because when you have it with oppositions and squares, it's like impossible. Okay, you're fighting the grain. Right now, there will be an ease to surrender. Another thing that Leo could be surrendering is maybe property, ownership of something, a car, a boat, a house. If you look across from their Virgo second house, this is their 8th house of shared resources and assets that are getting a new reset karmic entanglement here. So, if you've been going through also like one of those other signs, divorces, right? You have Pluto in your 7th house right now. There's major transformations happening with, business, lawyers, marriage, partnerships. And remember, guys, marriage isn't just on paper. In astrology world, in spiritual world, it is when you tie yourself to someone. There's no need for paper. So in this respect, when I'm saying marriage, it's somebody that you're with long term, your serious romantic partner. So Leo people, you could be surrendering maybe the relationship or the value of how is this person serving me? How am I serving them? This could be also surrendering the need to, for validation, because you're a Leo rising, you might need validation. And that Virgo in that second house is saying surrender. You don't need validation. You know that you got this, and you know that you can shine. Just lean into that. It could be surrendering an income for Leo rising. Maybe there's incomes are changing for whatever reason, because your 6th house is over there going to get maybe a raise. You'll get a different job that's coming in, okay? Because your 6th house anyways is very corporate in nature. You've got Capricorn there. So maybe they're going to become the boss. Maybe you're going to get an upgrade, right? When I look at your 10th house, you have Taurus there. So, Uranus is getting ready to leave, which is going to leave you a gift. Every planet, remember when I told you, when they leave a gift. So there could be a gift here to their legacy, their reputation, and their career for Leo rising people. Just bear with it. You're going to have to release something that is no longer serving you, that is not in your value system anymore, because it's getting in the way of your progress. And also for Leo rising, I didn't do this for everybody else, but I should have. If you look at Leo's chart in their 4th house of home, which is home, property, mom, family, their private life that not everybody's privy to. It's where you go for your sanctuary, right? For your nest. They have the Vesta flame in there right now in Scorpio, which tells me that for them, their hearth Vesta flame is in the family right now. They have to really hone in on family, on property, the importance of it, so that they can rewrite their legacy story. There's a lot of releasing here, especially with having that 8th house Saturn. When it dissolved, some Leo people could have lost a grandfather, a father, a parent of some sorts right now, or maybe even somebody that they looked at as a father figure, a boss, or somebody they were close to. And this could be really deepening the reality of what's important to them. This is why they have Vesta in the 4th house of home. Their heart flame is really, really activated right now. So I would lean in on releasing some outdated self-sabotage, undermining, addictions, and then working on what is more valuable to you, and the value of your finances, the properties, but the value of your family and the heart flame that's down there in that 4th house. Okay. All right. And so we're going to go to Virgo. Virgo, you're the star of the show.
Ah, well, all right. Can't wait to see what Virgo's got coming up.
All right. So Virgo, you are releasing everything about you at this point. When it's on the rising sign. So for the sun, Virgos, this is career. This is career. This is your core soul self, and what you strive for in life is causing you to surrender. And it's asking you to surrender because the universe has a bigger plan for you in career. In your moon energy, it's asking you to surrender to things that have to do with home, family, property, and mother, or even your internal mother nurturing energy. Okay. Maybe you're too meticulous or nitpicky, and it's like surrender, because the fighting that you're doing, the micromanaging, isn't going to help you to, get heard, basically, because Virgos have been trying to be heard. They are dealing with Saturn in their 7th house for the longest, where they feel like there's so many boundaries, borders, and limits and restrictions coming from other people right now. So for Virgo, they're being asked to surrender and lean in on that 7th house of flowing. For them, they also have, they have their Vesta heart flame in their 3rd house. So learning a small course, maybe even speaking more, public speaking. Their 7th house of marketing is resetting. And so the end of March, they can really get wise and stable on structuring a marketing business and that has an audience, or maybe a podcast or an online YouTube of some sorts. This is very, very loud for Virgo people right now, but it's asking you to surrender something about your identity in order for this to come into alignment. When it's the moon, again, go back to September 2nd. What did you start in September 2nd last year? Right? This is the clue for Virgos to know what they need to release. One other thing for them, they have Jupiter in their 10th house of career, reputation, and legacy, bosses and authorities. And because Jupiter was in retrograde and in its fallen state or detriment state all pretty much last May till October, you can expect now that he's right, he's awake, he's moving forward, he's going to expand the reputation, the legacy, and the work matters for Virgo people. So if you haven't found the right career legacy that you want to leave, it's coming by June 8th. Remember, I said this.
Oh boy. June 8th sounds like it'd be just magical for people.
June is such a good month, and the last 6 months of the year is so much easier for the world at large. I know we have been through so much chaos, and the collective has just been nuts with all these changes, but this is going to shift and things are going to get better. And one thing I want you guys to remember too is that on the 30th of March, you can expect Neptune to enter into Aries. And this is going to be a very new 14-year change for everybody on a spiritual level. Neptune takes 14 years. So we don't use him as a time lord because he takes so long to go around a chart, right?
Yes.
And nobody lives 144 years, basically.
Yes.
But Neptune is really big on the collective's subconscious, the ocean of the emotions, the ghost from the past, spirituality and spirits. And then creativity and muse. And we're going to start to really initiate new beginnings with exalting things like cameras, media, Hollywood, the way that we do our aesthetics. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So anything beauty, love, romance, all this shit is changing. All the lure. If you think of Neptune, Neptune is the god of illusion, delusion, and fantasy. So the next 14 years, as of March 30th, you can expect a lot of changes with those themes and things about the ocean as well. So if mermaids come to life or fruition, this is very, very big. I've seen a lot of mermaid stories online, and this is why, because Neptune is moving into an Aries sign. So it's new beginnings for everybody collectively.
Wow, that's great. And Kazan basically says, so it's kind of a time, a bad time, making you reflect on yourself.
No, not at all. I think it's a really good time to reflect inward because eclipses are about surrendering. But the Venus and the Mercury, the ruler of that eclipse, is also going in retrograde on Saturday. So this is actually a good time to introspect, go within, look at the finicky details about yourself. Where do you obsess? Where do you have OCD? Where do you have anxiety? Where do you nitpick shit? This is where, and then go to your chart and it will show you where you do this at, and you are learned to release right there.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Right to the point. Yes.
There. Remember too, Virgo's about health. So maybe we're all being called to kind of take better care of our health right now, especially if Neptune's moving into an Aries sign. Neptune is of the invisible diseases and Aries is blood issues.
Mm-hmm.
So you see how that can work? Yeah, we
Yes.
can have new health issues come to light and we're like, whoa, what is this stuff, right? Because Neptune rules pharmaceuticals, it rules hospitals, it rules all these places that we can't see. You know, or that are tucked away behind the scenes, prisons, asylums, you know, things like that. Even places of moksha liberation, right? Like if you go to ashram or something, those are all Neptunian energies. So with this shift into Aries, because it's a Mars ruling energy, there's a double-edged sword, and nothing is always just positive. We have the negatives that come with it too. So
yes, which makes sense. The yin and the yang, right? That's just it has to be balanced.
I think that the faster people accept that, the better life will be for you, because you'll learn that to be happy, whether in the good or the bad, because then you co-create, and there's some things are inevitable, right? We put things out there and there's always a ripple effect.
Yes. Yeah. Well, for every action, there's a reaction. So it's just, it's the way it goes, you know?
Yes. And Einstein and people like that, they were actually occultists and astrologers, and people don't even know.
It's true. It's true.
A lot of our psychology gods, like they are, you know, they were all occultists. Our founding fathers were occultists. They created the United States here in 1776 on the dog star Sirius for a reason.
Yes. See, I think that's, you know, a lot of the upper crust, shall we say. They do consult with astrologers on pretty much everything.
They use numerology, tarot, astrologers. They use all of the tools accessible to speak to the spirit. Because if you start to wake up, you realize that you're a spirit before you are matter.
100%. 100%. Kazan basically says, hold on, I'm trying. He says, no, I meant it's a bad time in a sense that you get misfortunes making you reflect on
I like
you.
that. Okay, I see what you're saying. No, I like what he's saying, because it's so true. Through suffering is when people make changes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we are kind of defaulted like this. And so the goal is to bring your consciousness higher and to like not wait till you're suffering to make changes, and to like be aware of it, even in the good times, the changes you need to make, right?
So when is it a good time to, you know, you have people who have, I'll say the word karma, because people were so conditioned to thinking about karma or thinking about things that bring us back around another time and another life, because we can't let it go or shake it. So when's a good time within the charts to actually shake all that stuff and put it away?
Now, a lot of this has to do with your individual lineup, but if you can get familiar with your 12th house, your 8th house, and your 4th house, these are your houses that liberate you. These are the houses that make you go within, deal with spiritual trauma, psychological trauma, fears, phobias, and outdated DNA memory. Why? Because these are the water houses, and water signs rule DNA memory. They rule the memories of everything, right? If you look at the experiment that they did with water, they could see that water could be shaped and formed based on words, and that water holds all of the souls and memories. So, you know, this is the best time, is when you see aspects of their 12th, 8th, and 4th house. That's the best time to release, go within, and process what the spirits are trying to tell you.
Right. So in other words, write it down on paper, throw it in a cube of ice or down the toilet, and just let the water wash it away.
No, yeah.
So I know.
A great ritual. If you want to release something and you're adamant about it, write it down and flush that shit down the toilet. Let it go. Let the universe do the rest of it. These are really easy rituals you can do at home to help clear your energy.
Yes.
And don't bring it back up, because with one thing about releasing and letting go something, you have to trust and let it go. Because if you kind of hang on to it and linger back to it, it's going to come back.
Yeah, it's true. See, doesn't come back that way though, Mark.
Remember the movies would teach us that it would flush to the other side of the world. Give it to them.
Theoretically. Depending where you are.
All right. So where did I leave off with Libra, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So let's go to Libra. Yeah, that's right. Because we did Virgo, who's the star of this show. One more thing before I move forward. For Pisces and Virgo, you are the stars the next 18 months. This started technically last September, but as of January, for Pisces specifically and Taurus secondary, you guys are the stars of the next 18 months. What do I mean by that? By next summer, 2026, you are going to be a completely changed person. The eclipses come to realign you and reshuffle your wheel to put you on the right path. So for Virgo and Pisces, both, you guys are going to be, by next summer, on the path you're meant to be. And that will be for the next 18 years after that.
Wow. That's 18 freaking years.
Oh, yeah. The eclipses are 18 months, but they work on bigger synodic cycles, which are 17 and a half, 18 years, respectively, sometimes 19 years.
That's just insane. I mean, you forget it gets to some point. After a while, it's just like, what year are we in?
Yeah. And then with the thing with astrology is that it's pattern recognition. You need to go back into history because it's all about the synodic cycles. Once you understand the patterns that the planets are doing, you can understand the bigger story, the micro story, the macro story, and it makes so much sense, you know? Okay, so Libra rising, let's go to them real quick. So if you're a Libra rising, this is really important for Libra. Virgo, you're the star, but Libra, I think, also has a lot going on. For Libra rising people, not only do you have your planet Venus in retrograde right now, so things with like romance, love, equity, justice, balance, finances, it can all be kind of chaotic right now. And so with this Virgo eclipse in your 12th house, Libra, you're just like Leo. You're being asked to release something that is an addiction. Now, addictions are not always drugs, right? This could be smoking, vaping. But in the 12th house, addictions could be patterns, and these are automatic patterns and responses of subconscious tendencies, disillusionment, self-sabotage, things that get in the way of you being able to move forward in your life, okay? Because Venus is over there in your 7th house of partnerships, it could be having you kind of go backwards in regards to marriage, and backwards in regards to a business partner, backwards in regards to a legal matter or with an attorney. But nonetheless, this will kind of get better when it gets back into its exaltation state into your 6th house, which tells me, again, we're looking at detoxing, releasing kind of old habits, patterns that you don't even realize disillusions you or self-sabotages you. Because the 12th house is a house that we cannot witness. And so for Libra, this is a very private, a very personal surrender. And you are surrendering to the spirits. You were surrendering to the ghost of the past in order to let them go. Again, go back to September 2nd for Libra. This is something you started and you implemented around this time. I can't help but think for them, this has a lot to do with diet, health, that type of restriction. The 12th house deals with imprisonment. Now, this might, for some people, of course, because of the bell curve, this could be about imprisonment for them or somebody they know, right? But that's more on a figuratively speaking, or on more real speaking. On a figuratively level, this is more so about your surrendering to the release of that mental prison that you have put yourself in. Okay. Libra rising people can be so, and they might not even realize this. They're so finicky about details. They have, they have Gemini right now in their 9th house. So for Libra, you could expect that maybe unexpectedly here, you might have to surrender in order to move. You might have to move to another foreign land, another foreign place. You could be getting ready to start a philosophical course or some type of higher pursuit of university. But in order to do this, you got to release some of your patterns, addictions, and your OCD energy around your routines and your schedules as well. Okay. And some of this is, to me, is really tied for them. Let's see, they've got Mercury where? That's their 9th. They have Mercury also in their 12th. Okay, so yeah, 9th and 12th houses for you guys are changing. So, and both of these houses deal with foreign lands and foreign places and foreign people. So for Libra, you could be working on passport things, visa things like this with you. And because it's in your 7th house, it could be you witnessing this with a partner, but you could be potentially having to travel, move, or go to a foreign land or a foreign shore. On top of this, that surrender can also, again, be about realizing where you self-sabotage, where you hinder yourself, where you limit yourself, these patterns that are outdated that got to go. Let me see. What else can I see for Libra? They have Pisces, right? Yes, they have. That's what I said. They have that in their 4th. Let's move over here. All right. So, for Libra people, you have in your 5th house of entrepreneurship and business, you have right? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, that's right. You have this Pluto transformational energy in this 5th house of children. So you could be being really transformed through children. You could have an unexpected child, especially when this Venus goes back into its exalted state in your 6th. That's a ripe energy of fertileness, okay? In the 6th house of like, oh, shit, I didn't expect this, right?
Yeah.
So that can happen for them. This can also be transformations and changes into how they go about their entrepreneurial business and their business endeavors, period, small businesses. For Libra rising people, you also have your ruler of your 3rd house of publishing and things like that. Also within the 9th house of God and your purpose. So not only are you expanding your purpose and aligning with your purpose, you are being asked to surrender this so that more of this can come through. Okay. Because again, by June 8th, there'll be a gift. There'll be an expansion here in your 9th house of traveling, of foreign lands, of universities, of teaching even. These house axes are the axes of teaching. So for Libra people, you can get into that light of learning to teach, publish a book, publish a patent, anything like this, get into a school, anything like that. Okay. Or even a travel endeavor for them. They might unexpectedly be shocked because all of a sudden they're being asked to travel for something. So ultimately that looks good too. Now, one thing I do see for their 4th house of home, which is Capricorn, because this Saturn is resetting in the heart energy, which is the 5th house, what makes them happy, what makes them feel joy, what makes them their heart burn. This Saturn's going to reset here for them. So it went invisible, meaning that they have until the end of March when he gets reawakened to restructure and realign their home foundation. Okay. So they could be, again, moving, restructuring their home and building upon whatever it is that they want to do in this home area. So pay attention to this for Libra, because this is a lot to do with possibly changing your domicile. And really, because you're following your heart, you're following your romance, you're following the love of children, you're following your business or entrepreneurial endeavors or what it is that you want to do in order to grow.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow, y'all listening, kids? Oh my God.
Let me see what else is going on for them before I move forward. So yeah, Libra rising, you've had Libra sun as well, Libra moon subjectively. You have Uranus in your 8th house. This has been here since 2018. And he's getting ready to leave. He leaves in July. So what that means is that the chaos you've been experiencing in shared assets, shared resources, longer range money, investments, savings, inheritance, all of this will finally calm the F down and it will move away from that. And then when your Uranus goes in your 9th house, this is a trine to you. So again, expect unpredictability with foreign places, foreign lands, travel, things to do with visas, passports, courts and judges. And this is a Dharma house though. So I wouldn't be worried about this. This can be fast moving energy that comes and brings you in alignment with your Dharma and your purpose. So this looks really good for Libra once we get into like July and on. Okay. All right. So after Libra, we have Scorpio. Let's go to Scorpio rising. And then I think I'm done because we started with Sag. Yay.
We did, yes.
All right. So Sag rising, or Sag rising. Oh my gosh. Scorpio rising. I'm already discombobulated. Oh, someone put a head up there. I want to know what that means.
She goes, mind blowing, mind blowing.
Tell us what you mean, Melissa.
Yes. I was like, wow.
I need to know. It's always so confirming when I hear the results from other people because it makes me know not just that, okay, I know what I'm doing, but damn, this stuff is real.
It seems to resonate with people.
I love that. I love that because it's not only does it open up their mind, but it's changing people's lives. This is what was taken from us, and we need this so we can realign with our soul purpose, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yes, for Sherry's question, she said, so Libra, good time to buy a house. I would wait until Venus goes direct in April, and then you got the okay.
There we go. You heard it here. Don't do it.
End of March, you can start looking. April, I think it's like April. Gosh, what I don't remember the day. I know I wrote it down. April something. Just say the second week of April, she goes direct, and you are game on.
There we go. Hang on. Not that far. It's a month. That's all.
So, and remember, end of the month, start doing the documentation and all that stuff, because Saturn will awaken, and he's in a sign that you can make dreams into reality right now. He's in Pisces. So if you have a dream to buy a home, do it.
There we go. Perfect.
Right. So last but not least, Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio sun, so thanks for everybody being patient with us. Rising Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon subjectively. This eclipse is happening in your 11th house. So a lot like that other sign that had this kind of Taurus, their opposite sign, kind of had the same thing going on. For you, Scorpio, you are realigning your networks. You're realigning your groups. You're realigning your community. You're realigning your goals. There is a release and a surrender here, because the community, maybe the friendships that you tied yourself to in these communities or even these networks, are no longer serving you. There's too much details, too much nitpicky, too much anxieties around these communities, because they're not serving you no more. They're not in alignment with your goals. For Scorpio, also, your 7th house has been lit up since 2018, where there's been some unpredictability, chaos, shocks, and surprises with other people, and even your partner, even your marriage partner, even a business partner, right? And so when Uranus gets out of here by July, you can see this is going to change massively, because it's going to enter your 8th house, where you can start to get new ways of forming investments through technology, through electrical dynamics, through anything that is very Uranian in nature, the occult, anything progressive, anything to do with AI is going to be very good for them, especially if they jump into real estate, because the 8th house has a lot to do with real estate. For Scorpio people, not only is this eclipse in your 11th, but your 5th house is being affected, because Saturn reset here yesterday. So what does this mean, right? Because Saturn rules your 3rd house. Well, this tells me that your areas of your entrepreneurial and business endeavors are being reset on a new karmic story here. So by the end of the month, you're going to have a new idea of how you want to build on your entrepreneurial endeavors. This can also be a reset to things with your child. Maybe children are changing something here, right? Maybe they're getting to their age of wisdom and maturity, and it's time to leave the nest. And so this is you having to conform to that, right? And so this is why it's affecting the heart, because these are matters that are of the heart that are very, very, very close. This is also setting your romantic stories here. So if you're in a romance, married, long-term, anything like that, this can deepen the relationship. This can make it more mature and put it on a different octave to have some new karmic stories coming out, okay? Remember, Saturn is not always, he's a malefic in astrology, but Saturn likes to slow things down so that you can look at things in real time and build on them. And then he rewards you. He rewards you for the hard work you put in. So looking at this in your 5th house, this is telling me that Scorpio has been doing a lot of hard work when it comes to their entrepreneurial business. And you can bet your ass by the end of this month, next month, this is going to manifest for them.
Yes.
Another thing for Scorpio folks is that the Vesta flame is in their sign. What does this mean? It wants you to really work at your heart level. Like, what do you want to the core of your heart? What are you here to do? Really, how do you what sparks your flame for Scorpio people, Scorpio rising? And this is what I'm asking you to do. Like, really look at what sparks you and what drives you, and use that helm of your ship to go towards that, because you have a lot of things manifesting in a good way. Now, they have had Mars, right? It's in trine to them though, but they've had Mars in their 9th house of courts, judges, judgments, foreign places, foreign people, foreign policies, visas, passports, travel. And so this could have been either cutting out of these dynamics or causing problems with these dynamics. Now, when Mars gets out of here though, which he does April 18th, this will end those stories. So they still have about a month into these kind of stories if they've been going through things like that. And on a very personal scale, this could be about them trying to align with their purpose. So by April, they will be more in alignment with their purpose at this point. Okay.
Yes.
Something else for them. Let's see. But yeah, so if I was a Scorpio rising person and you are in anything to do with banks, loans, real estate, shared property, investments, I mean, you got Jupiter deepening the bounty here. So don't think that you haven't got your earnings or gains yet. It's coming, especially in this 8th house. This is deep, deep pocket money.
There we go. There we go.
Let's see, one more thing for them. Let's see, they have Venus and Mercury in their house of schedules and routines, and in their house of coworkers. So Scorpios could have a lot of changes with routines, schedules, and maybe issues and dynamics with work itself. This is going to mitigate, especially when these two planets get back into Pisces and then they go direct. So again, April, I know everybody's like, by April, things will smooth out. And then there's a lot of transformation in and around the home for Scorpio people for the next 18 years. Okay. Pluto is down there really uncovering hidden dynamics about your ancestry, your family, your parents, your mom, all of that stuff. So, all right, that's where we're at. Thanks, guys. We did it. We made it through all the signs.
We made it. Wow. So if people want to, which is great because we're coming up to the top of the hour, people want to find your private readings that are really tailored to them with times and dates.
Yes.
How can they find
Make sure you guys have your time of birth. Okay. Get your time of birth and then you can book with me. But you can book with me at spiritcoachingastrology.com. It's on the websites. I have an app for it if you have an Apple device. You can also find me on Facebook, Priscilla Rosado-Cruz, and you can instant message me. I always check my message request. And yeah, so these, I am on YouTube also. I just really don't post. I need to start doing these weekly, but we already, Michelle, I just have such a big load right now because I do consecutive. I do have.
I know you'll get there when you're meant to.
Yeah.
When the time is right, you will know.
Yeah. So I told myself I'm not going to even stress about it because I really do want to get on YouTube or have some type of platform. Right. I think people could benefit from this and I enjoy doing this, but right now I'm doing private readings. You guys can come to me through the, the website I said, my Facebook page, and even find me on YouTube. I am Spirit Coaching Astrology on YouTube. You can comment on one of my videos and I will get to you. Okay. So thanks guys. Likes in pockets.
I know. Wayne. Oh, Wayne. It's just always poor Wayne.
Have some faith.
I know.
This is a dream. We're in a dream world, right? So always remember that you can make anything come to life if you believe. So let go of that negativity that we've been programmed into because that's the way they've been siphoning our, manifestation abilities. We are very big creators. So we got to start integrating that even through hard times, positive speech and thoughts, because you can magnetize it to you.
Yes, I agree. And I believe it's my nightmares. Sorry, was that nightmares are dreams too?
Yes, but that again, if you're leaning into up to that lower octave, of course that's what's going to come.
Yes, exactly.
It's really your ghost. It's your own ghost. It's not anything else. That's why the 12th house is about self-undoing and rules ghosts, because it's our own ghost from the past.
See, there's so much to talk about. I'm going to message you because I want to do what we talked about. So I'm going to do that for sure because there's a few things we obviously can talk about. So bye, Mark. It's right now. It is let's see, 5 a.m. almost for Mark. He's in the UK.
My gosh.
Thank you. Yeah, he's a champ.
Thank you.
I always say it's like, good grief, man. Anyway, everybody for tuning in to the chat room. You guys have just been amazing. Always so interactive and so knowledgeable and inquisitive, and we just love you for it. But thank you all for tuning in. However many of you are listening, we know there's quite a few, and those who are watching. Big thank you, of course, to Priscilla. Go and check her out and get your reading done because it will be mind-blowing. If you think, oh, this is mind-blowing, wait till it's catered just to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. I did one today and the girl was like, oh my God.
Exactly. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, so what's coming up next week? Sunday night, you can find me with Steve Genier and Alex Rondini on Nocturnal Frequency, 9 p.m. Eastern. Go to YouTube, look up Nocturnal Frequency, and that is Sunday night. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, Tuesday, Beyond the Outer Realm is a special feature with Gwen Akora Johnson. So if any of you guys remember Derek Akora, passed away a few years ago. It's basically remembering Derek. Not the Derek we all knew from television. You guys remember him from Most Haunted. You remember him from Paranormal Egypt, things like that. He's done a lot, and he's very well-loved UK medium at the time, and one of my favorites. He was just very gentle, very kind. Class act, as I say. So a special feature remembering Derek Akora with his other amazing half, Gwen Okora Johnson. And that's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday afternoon on Beyond the Outer Realm. Wednesday welcomes John Thomas, who's going to be talking about his book, Channel the Messages of Hope, Conversation with History's Most Prominent Souls on the Other Side. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that one. And Thursday brings back our friends, of course, from Nocturnal Frequency, Steve Jenny, Alex Rondini, and we're going to probably be picking up where we started off on their show, which is a lot of local haunts and things like that. And you guys have heard me talk about a lot of the dire wolf and werewolf things going on throughout Canada, Southern Ontario, Upper US, like just kind of all filtered together, but that and so many other things. It's just going to be a hoot. So big thank you to Folgers Coffee, of course, our sponsor. We love you.
I love coffee. Thanks, Folgers.
Woohoo, right? Yeah. Couldn't do it without you guys. You're just part of our Outer Realm family. We love you so much. Big thank you to Justin Snicker. Big thank you to Steve McGinnis. Again, we appreciate you all so very much. So we shall see you Sunday night if you can make it on Nocturnal Frequency. If not, see you on Beyond the Outer Realm. And you can look for Priscilla coming up there as well. All right. Thank you, guys. Good night. Have a great weekend.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.